Nabuking na nga nitong nakaraang araw ang di umano'y anomalyang ginagawa ni VP Sara Duterte sa confidential funds. Ayon kasi sa balita, wala umanong napupuntahan ang halos kalahating bilyong confidential funds ni VP Sara na pinaghirapan ng taong bayan. Ayon pa sa ilang source, winawaldas umano ni VP Sara ang confidential funds sa pansarili nitong kaligayahan at hindi daw iniisip ang hinaing ng marami nating kababayan. Narito panoorin kung saan ba talaga napupunta ang confidential funds ni VP Sara.
Major General Nolasco A. Mempin. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your Honor.
You are the former Undersecretary for Administration of the Department of Education. That was during the stint of former Secretary, Vice President Sara Duterte. Do you confirm?
Major General,
Former Major General Nolasco,
Nolasco, you're recognized by the Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair?
Please answer the question of Congresswoman Luistre.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you confirm having been appointed as Undersecretary for Administration of DepEd. That was during the time of former Secretary, Vice President Sara Duterte. Let us go back to your career in the AFP, General Mempin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Back in 2017, nasan po ba kayo, General Mempin?
In 2017, ma'am, initially I was assigned in 10th Infantry Division as the Chief of the Governance and Strategy Management Office, effective January 2017. Then by August of same year, I was designated as the commander of Task Force Davao in Davao City, Mr. Chair.
So the first appointment in 2017 was at the 10th Infantry Division.
Correct, Your Honor.
Pag sinabi po ba natin, General Mempin, 10th Infantry Division, what areas are covered?
The 10th Infantry Aguila Division covers whole of Region 11 and part of Region 12, part of Region 10, and part of Region 13, Caraga, Your Honor.
And can you please cite some of the big provinces which are under these regions, General Mempin?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, for Region 11, it covers Davao City, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao Occidental, and Davao Oriental. Also includes parts of Bukidnon, but greater part of Bukidnon is under 4th Infantry Division and part of North Cotabato, ma'am.
And for Region 12, General Mempin?
Region 12 is a part of Cotabato, ma'am.
And Region 13?
Region 13 is part of Agusan Sur and a part of Surigao del Sur, ma'am.
Can you please be specific about the inclusive period when you were the commander of the 10th Infantry Division, which covers regions 11, 12, and 13?
I was designated as commander of the 10th Infantry Division in February of 2022 until my retirement in January 28, 2023, ma'am. Your Honor and
Earlier,
Mr. Chair.
you mentioned about 2017, and you were likewise at the 10th Infantry Division. What specific assignment do you have during that time?
From 2017, ma'am, I was assigned as the commander of Task Force Davao, in charge of covering, actually it only covers the downtown Davao, in charge of the anti-terrorism unit of the armed forces because of the series of bombing. Because Task Force Davao was established in 2003. Then after that, in 2019, I was, after my stint at the Task Force Davao, I was designated as the commander of the 1003rd Infantry Brigade, covering parts of Davao region, specifically Davao del Norte, parts of Davao Oriental, parts of the northern or the mountainous area of Davao City, and then some parts of Bukidnon and some parts of North Cotabato, ma'am.
So would it be correct to say 2017, General Mempin, you were heading the Task Force Davao, primarily in charge with Davao City and the major parts of the Davao region. Do you confirm that?
Ma'am, for clarification, Mr. Chair, during my stint as Task Force Davao, it only covers the downtown because Davao City is divided into 3 areas. It has the downtown, midtown, and the uptown. The midtown is the downtown is the central district. Then midtown and uptown are those areas.
So which part are you in charge with?
For 2017, ma'am, 2017 until
Midtown?
2019 in
Uptown or downtown?
Downtown during task
You
force.
are in charge of downtown in 2017
Until
as the head of Task
Task
Force
Force.
Davao.
Correct, ma'am.
And then
Your Honor.
sometime in 2019, you became in charge of the 10th Infantry Brigade covering most parts of the Davao region.
Not yet, ma'am. 2019, I was designated as the brigade commander. Brigade commander is under the 10th Infantry Division still, covering Davao, some parts of Davao region, specifically Davao del Norte, Davao Oriental, and not Davao Oriental, Davao del Norte.
Yes,
part
General,
of Davao
you have
City.
stated that
Yes, ma'am.
already. And then for 2022, this is the time that you were in charge of the 10th Infantry Division covering the regions 11, 12, and 13.
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And of course, I just wish to manifest that during this time, 2017 to 2022, the president was former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And for Davao City, the mayor during that time was our Vice President, SARA Duterte.
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And considering that you are taking care of the regions, the provinces, and the city, which are considered the hometown of the president, may I know, was there any marching order coming from the president having assigned to those places?
Actually, because as member of the armed forces, our main objective is to ensure, to protect the people and secure the territory for our sovereignty. So basically for the Army or the 10th Infantry Aguila Division, our focus is on insurgency problem. While in Davao City, during my stint as Task Force Davao Commander, is for the extreme terrorism, like bombing of the extreme
With all due
terrorists.
respect, General Mempin, I hope you will be responsive to the question because Davao, of course, is the place of the former president. So this representation is interested whether in your assignment in 2017, 2019, and 2022, all pertaining to the Davao region, mayroon po bang specific na marching order ang presidente, considering that these places are his home places?
I have not received any specific instructions, but
Thank you,
As,
General Mempin. I think you have answered the question already.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How
Mr.
about
Chair.
any marching order from the Vice President during your stint as Task Force Davao head?
The only instruction that I received during our assumption or during my assumption as Task Force Davao Commander is to have zero bombing incident, because he said if there's a bombing incident in Davao City, then you failed your mission as Commander of Task Force Davao. So zero bombing, that's the specific instructions of former Mayor Sara Duterte. Your
I
Honor.
wish to remind you of the article which was published in Sunstar. Ang sabi po ng ating Vice Presidente noon ay City Mayor, kayo po ang head ng Task Force Davao. Don't sleep, don't breathe, don't embarrass me. Do you confirm that?
That's correct. I still have the newspaper on that, ma'am.
Now, please enlighten us, walk us through. During the time that you were assigned in Davao City and the rest of the other areas of Davao region, how will you describe the peace and order situation in Davao?
In Davao City, ma'am, actually, when I first arrived, because I was also assigned in Davao region for a short stint in 2008, the first thing that I noticed in Davao...
With all due respect, Mr. Chair, let us remind our resource speaker to be responsive to the question. We are asking General Mempin about the status of Davao with respect to the peace and order situation during your time as the head of Task Force Davao. I think that is 2017 until 2019.
For the Davao, downtown Davao, ma'am, it is very peaceful, but still the threat of terrorism is there. So the existence of Task Force Davao is still
In the scale
needed.
of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how peaceful is Davao?
10, ma'am, because up to now, no
10.
incident of terrorism.
So that confirms the description of Colonel Garma in one of our hearings that Davao is one of the most livable city in the Philippines. You agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And of course, you're one of the reasons why you are able to maintain, or you were able to maintain, such level of peace and order in Davao City because you were the one in charge, the partner of the LGU. May we ask, General Mempin, ano po ba ang mga programang ginawa ninyo sa Davao City to be able to achieve the level 10, the highest score in terms of peace and order that you just gave to Davao City?
To be candid about it, ma'am, actually, I just continue what my predecessors have done, because when I assumed in 2017,
General Mempin, kindly focus on the programs. Ano po yung programs na inyong in-implement?
number one, ma'am, is continued collaboration with various stakeholders, particularly with the Muslim communities in Davao City, to ensure that there will no slippage of probable or would-be bombing incident in Davao City, ma'am.
Any other programs, General Mempin?
Of course, continue information awareness to all the residents, or not only residents, but people visiting Davao. Because right now, the term right now is culture of security, where security is everybody's concern, and not only of the security units like the AFP and the Philippine National Police, ma'am.
I assume, General Mempin, that you were able to implement a lot of programs for you to be able to achieve that level 10 peace and order situation. So aside from the collaboration with Muslim communities and the information awareness dissemination, can you please cite more programs which you recall were very significant in your achievement of the level 10 peace and order in Davao City?
Yes, ma'am. Number one is collaboration, information awareness. Then continued meetings with or exchange of information with intelligence units or security units in Davao. Continued collaboration with the business sector because they are the one who needs to be convinced that Davao is safe for the investment to stay in Davao or increase of it. Then, of course, you continued presence because actually the word do not sleep. We continue patrols in Davao City, mobile, fixed checkpoint in Davao Airport, and even business establishment when there are major engagement. Task Force Davao is always present. And of course, we continue to make our personnel professional because whatever programs you have, if the people, meaning our soldiers, is not professional in handling, like for example, we always conduct checkpoint operations, and we always ask indulgence of the inconvenience that we have caused to the passenger and into the drivers entering Davao City. So that's all part of our programs to ensure that everybody is cooperating to ensure that no bombing incident will occur in Davao City.
I wish to make a recap of what you said, General Mempin. You mentioned collaboration with Muslim communities, information, awareness, and dissemination to all residents, meetings with other intelligence units, collaboration with business and other sectors, presence of patrols, and presence with all other professionals to make sure that no bombing incident will happen in Davao City. You confirm that?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And these
Mr.
are
Chair.
the reasons why you were able to achieve the level 10, the highest score for the peace and order situation in Davao City. You confirm?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And I must say, Mr. Chair, General Mempin, na ito rin ang dahilan why I wish to conclude pinagtiwalaan ka ng noon ay City Mayor and now our Vice President, SARA Duterte.
Yes, Your Honor.
Level 10 score is something that I am sure you will be able to gain the trust and confidence of whoever is the local chief executive of the area to which you are assigned. You agree with me?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr.
Let's
Chair.
move forward, General Mempin. Kailan po kayo nag-retire sa AFP?
I retired last January 28, 2023, Your Honor.
January 28, 2023. And I understand you entered the Department of Education during the time of VP Sara Duterte. You confirm that?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr.
Can you
Chair.
please enlighten us? Ano pong appointment ang nabigay sa inyo during your time in DepEd?
First, ma'am, I was appointed as or recruited as consultant of Department of Education from April.
Can you please expound? Consultant on what matter?
I was a highly technical consultant because I came from the armed forces, and our former secretary and vice president consider me as an asset in collaboration or engaging the security sector.
And you believe, General Mempin, that it was your career in the AFP, which was considered by then Secretary of DepEd why you were hired as the highly technical consultant.
That's correct, Your Honor.
If you
Mr.
can
Chair.
still recall, General Mempin, ano po ba ang trabaho ng isang highly technical consultant as you were made to understand during that stint in the Department of Education?
When you become a highly consultant, meaning the unit or the agency could not have it on its own personnel. That's why they could engage or hire the services of a consultant, ma'am.
For the information of the Filipino people, General Mempin, please allow me to share the functions which were under your position as highly technical consultant. 1, provide high-level policy advice on topics agenda that are confidential in nature. 2, provide guidance, technical oversight, and expert advice to DepEd in the development of various programs in all levels of governance on safety and security. 3, engage and collaborate with other departments and security-related services. 4, submit monthly status to OSEC. And 5, perform other duties related thereto. Would you agree with me, General Mempin, that as highly technical consultant, your mandate is to make sure that the need to promote and ensure safety and security is well addressed?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
You confirm that.
Yes.
And having confirmed that, tama po bang isipin, you are the one in charge also of the confidential funds of the Department of Education?
That's not correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Then, General Mempin, if you're not the one in charge of this confidential fund, then who is or who was?
I was not aware of, because I only more on, because after April, May, when USEC for administration is open, I was again asked if I could, but I'm not part of the utilization or how the confidential fund.
But you
is,
agree with me, General Mempin, lahat ng trabaho na ibinigay sa inyo, hindi nyo ito kayang isagawa without the necessary funding. And the funding that is allowed for these purposes is, of course, the confidential fund. Do you agree with me?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, but I have not received any instructions and also funds, for that matter, on in the performance or in the accomplishment of task given or mandate to me as the consultant, Your
In
Honor.
other words, General Mempin, while your job description as highly technical consultant pertains to safety and security, you have no access to confidential fund and you did not give any instruction from the head of the agency. That is your statement. Do you confirm that?
Yes, Your Honor. I am not part of
Thank
the
you.
utilization.
Let us move
confidence.
forward, General Mempin. Kanina may na-mention po kayo. After some time, you were appointed as the USEC for administration. Did you apply for this position?
No, ma'am. I was recruited by the former Secretary and Vice President.
Balikan ko po yung highly technical consultant. Of course, you expressed your desire because a notice of award was given to you to be the highly technical consultant. Aside from you, General Mempin, meron pa po bang iba na nag-express ng desire to be engaged as the highly technical consultant?
I'm not particularly aware of other consultant that express their willingness, but I do believe there are other consultant that the Office of the Secretary has tapped.
I understand. How about with respect to your appointment as USEC for administration? You said you were chosen. You confirm that?
I was recruited, yes, ma'am.
You were recruited. Who recruited you to become the Undersecretary for Administration?
the former Secretary and Vice President SARA, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And would you know why? Bakit ikaw ang napusuan na bigyan at pagkalooban nitong pagiging Undersecretary for Administration ng Department of Education?
As to the reason, the actual reason behind it, I was not aware, but I can surmise the trust and confidence that she has on me.
That is
maybe
correct.
the reason, ma'am.
The trust and confidence that you were able to establish as head of Task Force Davao in 2017 and being the one in charge of the 10th Infantry Division in Regions 11, 12, and 13 were very significant, not only in your engagement as highly technical consultant, but in your appointment as well as Undersecretary for Administration of DepEd. We agree on that, General Memphine.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
As a matter of fact, to illustrate how the former secretary trusted you, may I ask, are you aware of Department Order number 78, General Memphine?
Yes, ma'am.
What is Department Order number 78?
It's about the procurement, ma'am.
With all due respect, dito po sa Department number 78, ibinibigay po ang mandato na pamunuan ang Department Computerization Program sa Program Director. You confirm this?
Yes, I stand corrected, ma'am. It's about,
In other
TOC.
words, since 2010, General Memphine, ang Department Computerization Program ay pinamumunuan ng Program Director. Ito po ang nakasaad sa Department Order number 78. But because the former secretary trusted you so much on this position of being the Undersecretary for Administration, the DepEd issued DO number 16, series of 2023. Would you like to enlighten us kung ano po itong DO 16, series of 2023?
Actually, it's the revision of the Department Order 78, ma'am, Series 2010. It's actually revising the compositions of those for the procurement.
To be specific, General Memphine, with all due respect, ano ho ang pinaka-significant na naging pagbabago in terms of the DepEd computerization program from DO 78 to DO 16?
It's not only the director who decides for the procurement of department computerization program, ma'am.
For the information of the committee, General Memphine, it is clear that from DO number 16, the management of the department's computerization program was transferred from the program director to the Undersecretary for Administration, and that is you, General Memphine. That is how the former secretary trusted you. A policy which has long been existing for 13 long years, 2010, was suddenly changed, transferring the management of DepEd computerization program from the program director to the office of the Undersecretary for Administration. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can I elaborate, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Please continue.
Actually, before the computerization program is, because actually we notice some issues in the DCP procurement, particularly in terms of the members. So, because there's a huge amount of money involved in the DepEd computerization program, so it was agreed through the executive committee as a collegial body to elevate the authority of deciding the DepEd computerization program from program director to basically the program director is actively involved in the decision
I
making.
understand, General Mempi. Now let us go to the DepEd computerization program. Per fiscal year 2023, mayroon po kayong report. Ang sabi nyo, the delay and underperformance in procuring the ICT packages for 2023 were mainly due to the reconfiguration of the original specification and modifications of the package contents. You agree with this?
Yes.
Because this is in your report. But I wish to ask General Mempin, how come in your physical target versus accomplishment, kindly show on the screen, ito pong fiscal year 2023, this is your time as the one heading the DepEd computerization program, simultaneous with you being the Undersecretary for Administration. 0% po ang accomplishment ng DepEd computerization program. Can you please enlighten us on this?
Actually, ma'am, nandito po yung director ng ICTS, but to give you insight on the performance, because ma'am, when we arrived in DepEd 2023, actually, it's still the 2022 DCP programs being processed because of the delay during the 2022 because of the change of the administration. So actually, ma'am, late 2023 na po na process completely yung
May we know why,
DCP.
General Memphin? Of course, we understand from the records na yung 2023 budget, hindi nyo po na-utilize, and that is the reason kung bakit naka 0% ang accomplishment rate. May we know the reason why?
Because of the partly of the procurement process, because it has to go to the Bids and Awards Committee, and the members of the Bids and Awards Committee is still hands in full in terms of the DCP 2020.
But of course, you realize, General Memphin, the value of this DepEd computerization program with respect to the learning of the students who are supposedly relying on this. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr.
And to
Chair.
complete the picture, General Memphin, I wish to share to the committee, mayroon po kayong na-procure 44,638 ICT packages and DepEd packages sa taong 2022 and 2023. Ngunit ayon sa annual audit report ng COA, ang na-deliver nyo lang is 16,580. This is not even one half of what is supposed to be delivered. So to make it clear, General Memphin, na kapag procure po kayo ng 44,638 ICT packages, but per report of COA, ang delivered pa lang is 16,580, equivalent to 37% of the supposed accomplishment. Can you please explain this?
Ma'am, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, if I may request the Director of ICTS, because I was not already out of DepEd since July, so I'm not aware of the updates in terms of deliveries with regards, so that maybe
General
we could
Memphin,
have
with
a
all
good
due
picture.
respect, the procurement happened in 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
Ibig sabihin, nabili na po ito. 44,638 ICT packages. You were still with DepEd.
Yes,
You
ma'am, but
resigned only last July 2024. Tama
Yes,
po
ma'am.
ba? From your perspective as Undersecretary for Administration and the one heading the DepEd Computerization Program, ano po ba naging appreciation nyo dito? Anong naging dahilan why you were way below the supposed accomplishment when in fact, ang dami nyo naman palang nabili? Or, if I may rephrase the question, nasan po yung nawawalang ICT packages?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, during the 2023, only the DCP 2022 was processed, procured, and only started delivering in late 2023. And actually, only the first three...
In both dates that you mentioned, General Memphine, you're very much connected still with the Department of Education.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm explaining that during the 2023, ma'am, the DCP 2022 is prioritized, so it's only being deliberated or processed in the procurement. And late of October, that's only there were only 3 lots of DCP which were successfully bidded out, and 13 was
Memphine,
processed in 20.
If I may interrupt, let's simplify the question. The 44,638 ICT packages were procured during that time. Only 16,000 were delivered. Nasan po yung iba?
Ma'am, because the 3 lots supposedly delivered during December and early January of 2024 were subject to request for extension of some of the supplier, which we were not
Mr. Chair,
convinced.
I lament that General Memphine could not give a clear and complete account of this 44,638. And I still have a lot of questions to raise. So may I just request General Memphine to please submit a written accounting of this 44,638 ICT packages with respect to their current whereabouts. Simple lang po ang question, General Memphine. Nasaan yung 44,000 minus 16,000 na ICT packages? Moving forward, Mr. Chair. General Memphine, I wish to raise questions about the DepEd confidential funds. There is such an AOM number 2024-15. This is dated February 1, 2024. Out of the 150 million confidential funds that were given to DepEd, only 3 quarters were utilized. That is equivalent to 112.5 million. Are you aware of this, General Memphine?
I just made aware during the hearing about the confidential fund because I was not directly involved in the...
Okay, but at least you can confirm that in the General Appropriation Act of 2023, DepEd has 150 million budget for confidential fund. You're aware of that?
Yes, ma'am, as member of the EXICO.
And out of 150 million budget for confidential fund, only the first, the second, and the third quarter were utilized. That is equivalent to 112.5 million confidential fund. You're aware of that?
I was made aware of that, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And sometime in February 2024, nag-issue po si COA ng Audit Observation Memo. Ang sabi po dito, there is such a 75 million disallowance na na-justify po nila later on. And out of this 75 million, however, mayroong 15.54 million pertaining to rewards to informers na hindi pa rin po na-clear because of lack of the necessary supporting documents. Can you please enlighten us on this?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, I was not part of how the confidential fund is being utilized, so I was not aware of the discrepancy, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
I understand. Nevertheless, General Memphine, having spent a long years of career in the military, of course you are aware about what confidential fund is.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Can you please enlighten us? What do you understand about confidential fund?
Confidential funds are funds allocated for the certain units or organizations for its security, maybe, and other in the furtherance of its mandate, particularly those who cannot be gathered through the regular means of acquiring, for example, information. Ma'am.
And how will you differentiate confidential fund from intelligence fund?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, in my opinion, intelligence fund are specifically have program being, although it's not being elaborated, but it has go to the programs of organization, for example, the law enforcement unit, the armed forces, and even the LGUs, while confidential fund has more on flexibility, but as we discussed, there is certain protocol SOPs being followed under the JMC 2015-01, ma'am.
To recap what you said, General Memphine, and please agree with me if I am correct, no? Both have a purpose of addressing the safety and security of the nation. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
However, confidential fund is given to civilian offices. Tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
While intelligence fund is given to military offices. Tama po ba?
Military and other law enforcement
Yes.
units, ma'am.
In other words, they have the same purpose, confidential and intelligence fund. That is to take care of the national safety and security. However, magkaibang opisina ang gumagamit. Kapag confidential fund, it is given to civilian offices, at kapag intelligence fund, military and like what you said, law enforcement offices. Tama, General Memphine?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
But we have to share also that under Republic Act 7160, the Local Government Code, the LGUs are given confidential fund as well. They're authorized to have and utilize confidential fund. You must be aware of this because for the longest period of time, nandun po kayo sa Davao, and I understand like any other LGUs, nag-utilize din sila ng kanilang confidential fund. You agree with me?
I don't have the exact information, but I do believe they have. They are using confidential funds in furtherance of their mandate in respective LGUs, ma'am.
Remind lang po natin, Mr. Chair, because this was flashed already in the previous hearings. Ito po yung, should I say, escalation of confidential fund of the City of Davao, starting from 2016, 144 million. 2017, you were already the head of the Task Force Davao, 294 million. And then 2010, nandun na po kayo sa 10th Infantry Division. They have 420 million confidential fund in Davao City. And then that's 2018. And then 2019 to 2022, consistent na 460 million confidential fund. Napakalaki po nito, General Memphine. Puntahan ko po yung 2017. 294 million. You were the head of Task Force Davao. Pwede po bang malaman how you appreciate the utilization of the 294 million confidential fund?
Again, ma'am, in my to be candid about it, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, I was not aware of how the confidential fund is being utilized or implemented, but I just wanted to report to the body that the LGU of Davao, even before and after my term, is being supported in terms of logistics, meaning our vehicles, the maintenance of vehicles are coming from the LGU, and if there are major activities like gathering, like Kadayawan, Araw ng Davao, all the security elements involved in the securing Davao City and its major events, the LGU is providing support in terms of meals and logistics, meaning fuel to our vehicles, ma'am.
In other words, Gerald Memphine, all the activities that you raised earlier, collaboration with the Muslim communities, information dissemination, meetings with other intelligence units, collaboration with different sectors, presence of patrols, and coordination with other professionals. These are the activities which were supported by that 294 million in 2017.
I have no idea, but because aside from Task Force Davao, there are also members of the Joint Task
But
Force
at least, those activities were part of the expenditures of the 294 million in 2017. Do you agree?
I believe so, ma'am, but I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you. Now let us go to AOM 2024-15. Ito po yung na-mention ko kanina, General Memphine, na mayroong disallowance na 75 million. Out of 75 million, the basis of the disallowance of 15.54 million is the lack of supporting documents for payment of rewards. Reward to informers. And in response to the AOM, nakatanggap po ang COA ng certification galing sa 4 na AFP officers. 1 is Colonel Moransing, 2 is Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan, 3 is Colonel Panopio, and 4 is Major General Bahaw. Mayroon pong pinapa-explain ang COA na 15 million. This is about payment of reward to informers, and then in response, nag-submit po ang DepEd ng 4 na certification. General Memphine, can you please enlighten us? What are these certifications all about?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, the certification that I was asked to coordinate with commanders on the area with regards to the conduct of the Youth Leadership Summit are present here. And I was just asked to get the feedback from these units of the Army in particular of how they conduct the Youth Leadership Summit in their respective area and how effective it in securing or ensuring that these student out of school youth and even indigenous peoples, youth of indigenous peoples are protected, no? Because that's one of the thrust of also of Department of Education, that our youth be able to be a productive citizens of our country.
Thank you. Now let us go to Colonel Boransing. Colonel Boransing, there is a certification here signed by you, I suppose. This is dated January 1, 2024. You are certifying about the 8 activities for the Youth Leadership Summit with 531 participants, as well as information education campaign with 53 activities and 9,428 participants. Do you confirm this?
Colonel Boransing, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I confirm that, Mr. Chair.
I observe that the certification is addressed to whom it may concern. And then at the end of the body, it says, for the commander. Kanino ho ba talaga naka-address itong certification na ito, Colonel?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to explain about the certification.
Please continue,
Yes,
Colonel
this,
Boransing.
Our job, the First Infantry Division covers the whole of Zamboanga Peninsula and both Lanao provinces,
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, Colonel,
Yes, I was.
I have a limited time, so kindly give a responsive answer to the questions that are being raised. Ang tanong ko po, Colonel, kanino ho ba naka-address itong certification? Sa taas po, to whom it may concern. Sa baba, for the commander.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this was asked by the DepEd, and this is our standard format for
May
all.
we know who in particular in DepEd asked for this certification?
USEC MEMPIN.
USEC MEMP.
Yes, Mr. Chair. And that is the standard certification because of our multi-stakeholder activities on the ground. A lot of other agencies ask for certifications. Like for instance, during the Youth Leadership Summits, we get a lot of lecturers from other agencies, and they ask certifications. So this is our standard certifications we issued to all agencies who ask for it.
So-
Colonel, you mentioned about the Youth Leadership Summit.
Yes,
Can you
Mr.
please name some of your resource speakers during this time?
Chair? Yes, Mr. Chair. First of all, we have on criminality, we have resource persons from the Philippine National Police.
Can you please name names?
Yes, we usually have the Chief of Police of the municipality.
Please be specific, Colonel.
Okay, ma'am. So the ones that conducted the Youth Leadership Summit, ma'am, are line units, infantry battalions under us. So we
Kindly
have,
give names, please.
yes, the Chief of Police. For example, Mr. Chair, if I may, the Youth Leadership Summit, August 7 to 9 August 2023, conducted in Barangay Poblacion, Madaya, Maging Lanao del Sur.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 Youth Leadership Summit, so at the very least, I'm expecting 8 names who were the resource speakers during that time.
Yes, ma'am. If I may continue to read it, ma'am, it's in the report.
Kindly limit the answer,
Please
Colonel,
continue,
to the
Colonel.
question.
So
Boransing.
we have the municipal mayor of Masio, Lanao del Sur. We have also,
Do you have the date also? Can you please cite the date also?
yes, ma'am. As I earlier said,
Date of YLS and then the resource speaker.
yes, ma'am. As I earlier said, this one is August 7 to 9, 2023. The venue was in Maging, Lanao del Sur. So we have Staff Sergeant Bacquiao, Lieutenant Colonel Miondas. We have Private De La Rosa, Lieutenant Colonel
So how
Siat.
many resource speakers do you have for every Youth Leadership Summit?
It depends on the commanders. For instance, in local terrorist groups, where in Lanao, it can range anywhere from 5 to 10.
Is that the first, the one dated August? That's your first YSL?
YLS.
YLS.
For 2023, the first one was in May. It was in Zamboanga del Sur province.
2023, the first one was May.
Yes.
And then?
Then we have the second one is 16 June 2023. This was in Lanao del Sur, the municipality of Bubong.
And then the third?
We have July 26 for the 44th Infantry Battalion in Cabasalan, Zamboanga, Sibugay Province, Mr. Chair. Then we
fifth?
have July 29 in the Digkilaan National High School, Iligan City.
Sixth?
Then on September 29, we have in Barangay Pugan, Concepcion, Misamis Occidental. Then December 12, we had in Barangay D1, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. And as I earlier mentioned, another one in Zamboanga del Sur, this time in Dumingag municipality, ma'am. So those are 8 that were conducted in the various areas.
Mr. Chair, with the manifestation of Colonel Buransing, I respectfully move that we issue subpoena duces tecum to the head of the schools. Are they schools?
No, ma'am. Not all of them are schools. One is Digkalaan.
So what are they if they are not schools?
Like for instance, the first one last May was conducted in a barangay, in a sitio, ma'am. So we
Mr.
just
Chair, I am moving for the issuance of subpoena duces tecum either to head of the school or barangay, which became the recipient of the Youth Leadership Summit
Yes,
conducted by Colonel Buransing.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's go to...
There's a motion by Honorable Congressman Luistro to issue a subpoena duces tecum to the head of school or barangay,
Second, Mr. Chair.
subject to the
YLS.
Youth Leadership Summit conducted by Colonel Boransing. Is there any
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded by Honorable Flores. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
May we request as well, Mr. Chair, that the documents in the possession of Colonel Buransing, which I believe pertains to the Youth Leadership Summit, be submitted to the committee?
Mr. Chair, according to the Freedom of Information Act, since these are confidential, we can share it, but if we follow the Act, the Philippine Army or the General Headquarters Armed Forces would like to ask a written request from the committee, which is according to the Freedom of Information Act. Then we will provide.
COMSEC is requested to draft a letter
Thank you, Mr.
as
Chair.
requested by Colonel Boransing. Please continue, Congressman Luistro.
Mr. Chair, I wish to direct the next question to Lieutenant Sangdaan. Lieutenant, kindly occupy one of the seats.
Have you taken your oath, Lieutenant?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Sangdaan, I have here a certification which bears your signature, I suppose. This is about the 22 activities for the Youth Leadership Summit and 49 activities for the Information Education Campaign. This was held in the provinces of Ilocos Norte and Ilocos Sur, as well as La Union. Do you confirm this certification?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
And the certification, similar to the one issued by Colonel Buransing, is addressed to To whom it may concern, on the upper part, and then on the lower part, for the commander. For the record, Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan, kanino niyo
Yes.
po ba talaga ina-address itong certification?
Lieutenant
Yes, ma'am,
Sandaan,
to the
please.
DepEd, ma'am.
And can you be particular? Sino po sa DepEd?
Ma'am, can I just give the background, ma'am? That was the instruction of
I-
my commander, and according to my commander, it was Major General Mempin who
Okay,
requested.
you
it.
answered the question already.
Yes, ma'am.
And similar to the questions which I raised to Colonel Boransing, do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have also some documents with you which
Ma-
can provide details about the recipient of this 22 Youth Leadership Summit?
Ma'am, right now, ma'am, I don't have the documents because I am no longer with the 5th Infantry Division, ma'am. I'm already reassigned to GHQ. But
Li-
I assure you, ma'am, that
You can
there are
produce.
documents in
You can
the 5th
produce.
Infantry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. May I just state for the record, Mr. Chair, that Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan committed, manifested his commitment to submit the document about the 22 activities for Youth Leadership Summit.
Yes, ma'am. Just like what Colonel Boransing have said a while ago, ma'am. I think it's much better for the
Yes,
Secretary.
we will.
Yes,
We will,
ma'am.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is important,
The manifestation
Lieutenant
of
Colonel?
Colonel Sangdahan for the committee to write a letter, yun po ba yung gusto ninyo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
The
Mr. Chair.
COMSEC is requested to please, is directed to please write a letter requesting for the documents as requested by Congresswoman Luistro.
Noted,
Please,
Your Honor.
please continue, Congresswoman Luistro.
But at least, Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan, can you name some of those 22 activities? Yung naaalala nyo lang po, because this is quite a lot compared to the one which Colonel Boransing had. He had only 8. You had 22.
Ma'am, actually, these YLS were conducted by the line units of the 5th Infantry Division, sir. Ma'am, just like the 5 Offers Brigade, the 5th CMO Battalion, and other infantry battalions in the area, ma'am. As to the specific of which, ma'am, hindi ko na ma-remember, ma'am.
You mentioned which infantry division conducted this?
5th Infantry Division.
Saan po ba kayo kasama? Sa 5th po ba?
5th Infantry Division, ma'am, as a staff of the 5th Infantry Division, ma'am.
As one of the staff of the
Yes,
5th
yes.
Infantry Division. But I suppose that since you were the one who certified, you're supposed to have a personal knowledge of what happened.
We base it on our records, ma'am, on our tabulated records.
Do you intend to tell us, Lieutenant Colonel, that you were not the one who actually conducted this Youth Leadership Summit?
Yes, ma'am. The line units, ma'am, were the one who conducted those activities.
If it is not you, then who?
The different battalions, ma'am. For example, ma'am, the 77th IB, the 5th CMO Battalion, the
Bakit po kayo ang nag-issue ng certification?
we have the tabulated data, ma'am.
Yes, I understand. But for one to be able to issue a certification, dapat alam nyo. Dapat may knowledge kayo.
Yes, ma'am. We
As a
have,
matter of fact, this is an inquiry in aid of legislation. You were sworn in before we started the hearing, and this will elevate the status of being a sworn certification already.
yes, ma'am.
Bakit po kayo nag-issue ng certification kung wala kayong personal knowledge? Nag-certify kayo, may 22 Youth Leadership Summit, tapos hindi nyo po ito personally nalalaman. Is that what you wanted to say?
We have personal knowledge, ma'am, because we have it in our data, ma'am, that the different line units...
You are aware of the data only,
Oh, sir, that are
but
different...
not of the occurrence. Magkaiba po yun.
Ganon din, ma'am, sa occurrence niya, ma'am.
You are
That
aware of the occurrence as well.
Yes, ma'am, that it was really conducted.
Okay, balikan po ulit natin yung question ko. Name some of the Youth Leadership Summit that you conducted, if you are aware of the occurrence.
Just like in San Mariano, Isabela, ma'am, we have conducted the YLS there,
Barangay po iyan,
municipal, ma'am.
municipal. Ang recipient po natin, sino? Sino pong audience nyo doon? Sino pong participants?
The youth from the municipality of San Mariano, there were participants from the students in San Mariano, and even out of school youth.
Okay. Any
Yes, ma'am.
other? Any other YLS that you can recall?
As reported by line units, ma'am, also in Baguio City,
You are basing your testimony, Lieutenant Colonel, on the report. Tama po ba?
Yes,
That's what
ma'am.
you said.
yes, ma'am.
And this will only mean that you are not aware of the occurrence. If the statement that you're giving to us is based on the report and not on the personal knowledge of the occurrence, then you have no personal knowledge of how it happened.
I'm aware, ma'am, that it
You
was
are
really
aware of the
conducted.
data, you
Yes,
are
ma'am.
aware that it happened, but you were not personally there.
Yes, yes,
You
ma'am.
did not participate.
Yes, ma'am. We only provided some speakers as requested by the concerned unit.
How about this 22 that you mentioned in your certification? Ito ba na-attendan mo lahat?
No, ma'am. Honestly, ma'am, no.
Ilan out of 22 ang na-attendan mo, Lieutenant Colonel?
I think only in San Mariano, ma'am.
Only in San Mariano.
Ma'am, can I give a background on...
Kawa, may I just make a manifestation? How can you validate an accomplishment report with a certification? The signatory has no personal knowledge of what happened. Lieutenant Colonel was able to attend only 1 out of 22 Youth Leadership Summit. And this is okay with COA? I'm sorry, but I do not understand. Colonel Buransing, if I may call you again, yun pong 8, ilan ang na-attendan nyo doon?
Colonel Boransing.
Out of 8 Youth Leadership Summit, ilan po yung na-attendan nyo?
Colonel Boransing, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I was only able to attend one.
So that means that you have no personal knowledge as well
I have
of all the 8 Youth Leadership Summit that happened.
I have personal knowledge of this, ma'am. Mr. Chair, if I may explain lang po, the structure of my position is I'm the G7 of the Infantry Division. So the Infantry Division has 3 infantry brigades. They control 3, one has 4 provinces, the other has 1 province, and the other brigade has 1 province. So I am in charge of supervising. I am the Civil Military Operations Officer, Mr. Chair. So I closely monitor, we all closely monitor the program of the Youth Leadership Summit to ensure that it is multi-stakeholder and it fits the objectives of the program. So we have personal knowledge. We can't go around in each barangay, but they have, since we used budget from the Philippine Army, we have after-activity reports, fund utilization reports, pictures, and documentations. And we have to ensure this because we have a yearly inspection from higher headquarters. So we may not have been there, But we have personal knowledge. We are the program managers of this po.
You mentioned a while ago, Colonel Boransing,
Yes.
you were
Madam.
using the fund of the Philippine Army.
Uh,
You confirm
Yes.
that?
yes, Mr.
Are you sure?
Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair.
For the 8 YLS
Yes,
that
Mr.
were
Chair.
conducted, you used the fund of the Philippine Army.
For our participants, we used the Philippine Army. For the students, they used the local government unit funds, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that is clear. Mr. Chair, I just wish to manifest the statement of Colonel Boransing that during the Youth Leadership Summit, for the military, they are using their military fund, and for the children or the youth, they are using the LGU fund.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Please continue.
Yes. They use some use the provincial local government funds, and the municipalities. Some delegates also are using the municipal LGU funds. And for the participants from the other stakeholders, from DepEd, from BIDEA, from the police, of course, they use their own funds. So it's really a multi-stakeholder.
In other
youth
words,
fund.
Mr. Chair, a lot of offices and agencies are using their respective funds for intelligence in conducting the Youth Leadership Summit. This is your statement, Colonel Boransing.
I didn't say intelligence funds, ma'am. What I said was, like for instance, for their billeting, for the hotel, they have to pay from their own agency funds. For their food, they have to pay po.
What is clear, there are different offices
Involved.
who
in this.
shoulder their respective expenses
Yes, Mr.
for the
Chair.
purpose of Youth Leadership Summit.
Yes,
Tama?
Mr. Chair, yes.
In other words, it is not only the DepEd
Yes, Mr. Chair.
who spends its confidential fund.
I have no knowledge of what their source of funding is.
But in as far as you are concerned, kanya-kanyang gastos ang
KKB.
iba't ibang opisina.
KKP po.
And for the children, the youth, you said it is being shouldered by the LGU. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Colonel. May we request Lieutenant Colonel Panopio?
Colonel Panopio, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor.
Colonel, I have with me another certification bearing the signature of Magtanggol Panopio. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman.
On this certification, you certified 205 youth students from different schools. 3 youth leadership summits held in the provinces of Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, and Zambales. You confirm this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor.
And similar to my question to Colonel Boransing and the other Lieutenant Colonel, nakalagay po sa certification nyo, to whom it may concern, to sa taas, sa baba, for the commander. Kanino po ba talaga naka-address itong certification nyo?
This is addressed to DepEd, ma'am. May I explain for the commander, ma'am?
And can you please kindly be particular, who in DepEd? Ang dami po nila sa DepEd. Sino po sa DepEd ang kausap nyo when you submitted this certification?
Yusek Nolasco Bempin, ma'am.
That's Yusek Mempin. Okay. And can you please substantiate as well the 3 youth leadership summit that you conducted in your province? Ikaw ba nakaparticipate dito?
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, hindi po kami nag-participate specifically because as a staff, we are just supervising and monitoring the activities of the Youth Leadership Summit.
So
because-
similar to Colonel Boransing, you are just aware of the occurrence, but you were not part of the event.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman.
And with respect to the expenditures for similar programs, Would you confirm the statement of Colonel Buransing na
Yes,
ang
Your
mga
Honor.
opisinang participants ay kanya-kanya ng gastos?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman.
And with respect to the participating children and students thereat, tama po ba yung sinabi ni Colonel Buransing, LGU ang sumusuporta sa expenses nila?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman.
Are you sure?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman.
Can we recall Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan?
Yes, ma'am.
Lieutenant Colonel, tanungin ko lang po yung pagdating sa expenditure. Do you confirm the statement of Colonel Buransing? Kanya-kanya ng gastos lahat ng opisina.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, yes, ma'am.
And with respect to the children and the youth, it is the LGU
The
who support the expenses.
Yes, ma'am, through their POPs plan, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I am done with Lieutenant Colonel Panopio. I wish to proceed to Major Dombrigue. Major Dombrigue.
Major Dombriding, you are recognized. Have you taken your oath, Major? Nakapag-take na po kayo ng oath. Okay po.
Major, meron po kayo ditong submission prepared by you, certified by Lieutenant Colonel Panopio. This is about the Joint 7th Infantry Division DepEd Anti-Insurgency Campaign from January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2023. Do you confirm, Major, na ang sinertify nyo po dito ay 313 insurgency awareness and 166 posted social media products?
Good afternoon po. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Chair. Through that data was based on the reports of our line units.
Ang kasama po dito, Brigada Eskwela, insurgency awareness, environmental protection, shared and posted social media products. And then you also have number of health-related activities. Ang dami po nito, Major. Tanong, saan po nang gagaling yung pondong ginagamit nyo for all of this?
Ma'am, most of that funds was under the POPs on the APB of our line units.
Ano po yung POPs? Please enlighten us.
Projects, activities, and programs po.
And can you please tell us which agency is this?
In particular, ma'am, is the Philippine Army in collaborations with our partner stakeholders on the ground.
In other words, similar to the statement of the 3 prior officers, yung mga activities nyo, ang gumagastos is the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And as far as your counterpart is concerned, tama po?
Opo, ma'am.
At paano nyo po ba ginagawa itong anti-insurgency awareness?
Ma'am, Your Honor, in partnership with the different schools and local government units, our line units is conducting intensified information awareness drives on security awareness, ma'am.
How about the social media posts? Paano nyo po ba ginagawa to?
Utilizing the social media platforms of our infantry divisions and our line units, ma'am, we cross-post social media products of the AFP units and to include, ma'am, the other agency social media products.
Rough estimate lang po, Major. Sa tingin nyo po, itong mga reported activities nyo na to, total of 9,712, the activities I mentioned earlier. If you're aware, mga magkano po ang nagastos na pondo ng AFP dito?
Ma'am, with that figure, the number of anti-insurgency flyers distributed, a very minimal expenses lang po dahil printed flyers lang po ito dun with the bond paper po.
You're saying minimal. You're saying minimal. Minimal expense. You said that?
Yes, ma'am.
And it will no way reach 15 million. Tama?
Hindi po, ma'am.
Hindi.
Hindi po.
No way.
No way.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, gusto ko pong balikan si General Mempin.
General Mempin, you are
I'm about to
recognized.
wrap up, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
General, kanina po sabi nyo, hindi nyo alam yung confidential fund.
Yeah,
You
that's
still
correct.
confirm that?
That's correct, Your Honor, Mr.
But I
Chair.
hope you understand that the certifications which I confirm from the AFP officers, the 4 of them, pertains to the expenditure of 15 million taken from the confidential fund. And according to them, those certifications were required by you.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, actually I was asked by the Officer of the Secretary to ask for certification coming from these units. But it is clear to them or even to me that no funds are involved, meaning no funds released to these units. What the Office of the Secretary is wanted to know is the product or the result of the collaboration of various stakeholders, including DepEd, with regards to our youth. So it is clear, ma'am, that DepEd has not released any single centavo to the conduct of wireless to the units mentioned, ma'am, Your Honor and Mr. Chair.
If you are saying, General Mempin, na walang nirelease na pondo ang DepEd dito po sa Youth Leadership Summits, saan po ginastos yung 15 million?
That's, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, that was, I was not aware of it because the task given to me is just to coordinate because to be candid about it, the commanders of Colonel Boransing, Colonel Panopio, and Lieutenant Colonel Sangdaan are my former colleagues or classmates in the Philippine Military Academy.
Mr. Chair, I wish to ask the COA, Attorney Camora, tama ba ang understanding ko? Sa AOM, may disallowance na 75 million. Out of 75 million, you are asking for supporting documents of the 15 million which were paid as rewards to informers.
Attorney Camora, you are recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And in response to that supporting documents, the DepEd submitted these certifications about the Youth Leadership Summit. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In other words, these certifications submitted by the AFP officers are being used as justification for the 15 million utilization paid as reward to informers. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
General Mempin, your statement is completely contradictory to the stand and position of COA.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, as I previously mentioned, the only task given to me is to coordinate to my colleagues in the active service of the Philippine Army to have a report on the conduct of Youth Leadership Summit. But as to the utilization or disbursement of 15 million payment to informers. I was not made aware of it, and I have no knowledge that this certification is for the payment of informers. Your Honor and Mr. Chair.
General Mempin, I understand we also have Major General Bahao. You have a letter here, General Bahao. This is about the 9 Youth Leadership Summits. Kanino nyo po ito in-address?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Chair. May I be recognized?
Major General Bahao, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ma'am, I addressed the letter to Yusek Nolasco Mempin po, updating him of the YLS conducted in my division then.
And similar to the questions that were propounded to the 3 other AFP officers, kapag ho ba nagwa-YLS kayo, sinong gumagastos?
Ma'am, sari-sariling agency po na nagpa-participate dito ang gumagastos. Sa amin po, more on facilitation and security, kami po ang gumagastos sa sarili naming mga tropa.
And with respect to the children and the youth who are the participants, do you confirm what they said already? LGU ang gumagastos?
Yes, ma'am.
At kanina po sinabi din ni General Mempin, balikan ko si General Mempin, sabi niyo po, General, wala talagang gastos ang DepEd dito?
To
You
be
stated
clear,
that kanina.
because as I was asked if the confidential funds is used for the conduct of wireless, so it's clear that no funds is downloaded or given to the Philippine Army for the use of the conduct of wireless, but if confidential fund is given
General,
to informers
that
of
is
DepEd.
tantamount to saying na walang gastos ang DepEd sa inyo. When you said that they did not or DepEd did not download any fund to the military. Tama?
That's correct, Your
So,
Honor. and
what you wanted to say, walang ginastos ang DepEd sa taga-military when it comes to the Youth Leadership Summit. Do you confirm that?
That's I confirm that's correct, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I am very much surprised, but let me wrap up and make this manifestation before I yield to the other members of the committee. While we believe that these certifications were submitted to justify the 15 million that were allegedly paid as reward to informers, now all the officers from the AFP, that includes General Mempin, the USEC for Administration, are stating that the DepEd did not utilize any of its confidential fund in support of the Youth Leadership Summit. These statements, Mr. Chair, are completely contradictory to what DepEd has made the COA believe in the submission of all these certifications. Mr. Chair, to proceed, let us all be reminded, ito pong confidential fund na ito, pera ng taong bayan. We, all of us, are accountable to the Filipino citizens. Public office is a public trust. We should be accountable to the people at all times. And I do not understand why these people who are supposed to explain the 15 million is totally unaware of the same, because they are saying that they never use the DepEd fund and what they use is the fund of the AFP. While we understand, Mr. Chair, that confidential fund by its nature is not encouraged to be scrutinized, there is nothing under the law that prohibits the same as well. There are important observations, Mr. Chair. Number one, among all civilian agencies, DepEd is one of the very few with confidential fund. Two, DepEd had this confidential fund only in 2023. and never in prior time. 3, I hope we can show also that while the DND, which has a mandate to address the national security, has 37 million confidential fund only, the Department of National Defense has 37 million. The DepEd, which mandate does not include national security, has 150 million confidential fund. Mr. Chair, to continue, while the police, the AFP officers already denied this YLS, having been supported by DepEd, 15.54 million po ang amount that the DepEd is trying to justify in making use of the certifications that were submitted by the AFP. Number 5, Mr. Chair, prior to 2016, pag ang pinag-usapan po natin ay Youth Leadership Summit, it is the AFP who leads and they just coordinate with DepEd. But on the report that was given by COA, it seems to appear that the one leading the Youth Leadership Summit is the DepEd in coordination with AFP. Paligtad po ito. Number 6, Mr. Chair, I do not want to preempt any conclusion. However, Mr. Chair, General Mempin spent 2017 to 2023 of his AFP career in Davao City and Davao region. During this time, the former president is the president and our vice president is the mayor. During those time, Mr. Chair, Davao City, while it is authorized to have and to utilize confidential fund, I believe has one of the highest confidential fund among the LGUs in the entire country. I hope the Secretariat can produce the data. I wish to ask Mr. Chair, ito bang lahat ng ito ay coincidences? Given this observation, let us all be reminded that the leeway that is being given to confidential fund is to be able to address a very important concern, and that is national security of the country. No more, no less. The procurement and the liquidation were made liberal in recognition of the significance of the purpose of the confidential fund. However, Mr. Chair, if there are glaring indications of irregularity already, as those that we have mentioned, plus the admission of the AFP, is it not that COA should address its mandate of making sure that all receipts and all expenditures are duly accounted for the Filipino people? Question number 1, since when has irregularity in confidential fund been happening? 2, what has COA done so far with respect to its accounting rules in order to address the irregularity? And 3, will COA simply brush aside these irregularities, especially with the admission of the AFP that they were the one who spent for the 15 million Youth Leadership Summit and not the Department of Education? Let us remember, regardless of which office in the government we belong, public trust always carries accountability. To tone down the mood of our investigation at para mas maintindihan po ako ng mga tao, mayroon hong prominent na line sa pelikulang Star Wars. Ang sabi, comes with great power is great responsibility. If you translate this to constitutional language, let us all be reminded, public office is a public trust. The trust that is given to us by the people carries with it due accountability. Thank you, Mr. Chair.